Alrighty, so here we are, same lab, right? No big deal, 3 routers. We already know the IP addressing. RIP version 2 is already configured with no extra little, nuances. So now we're going to get into a couple of the topics or subcommands for RIP version 2, right? For RIP. So we'll take a look at a couple, not many. I'll do other, because again, I want to make this short and quick. So one of the biggest ones is your passive interface. That can cause a lot of issues, right? This is what it does. It suppresses routing updates on an interface. Suppresses routing updates on an interface. All right, so let's do that one. Before we do though, let's take a look at our routing table. Show IP route. So in here is what we saw last time in the previous in the configuration of RIP version 2. All right, you see the loopbacks, all right, of the other routers. So we're getting information from the other routers. Oh, okay. All right, and then you see the 10118 as well, because 10118 is right over here. So we're not directly connected to it, so we're getting updated from that. All right, so we're gonna go inside RIP and we're gonna do passive interface. All right, and we're gonna do router. That's all right. Yeah. Router RIP version 2. Don't forget that. We're not doing version 1. That's over with. All right, passive interface, tab is your friend. Now, there's several subcommands under here, which the only one that I'm going to talk about is, which I don't see, so, default. I don't see default. Passive interface, default. Oh, we got to pick a passive interface. I got to pick an interface. Sorry. Let's say passive interface. I gotta go over the interface. G0/1. If I say default, it would be all okay. I'll tell you why in a second. Passive interface G01. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm hesitating here is because there is a command, passive interface default, which maybe RIP here for this iOS no longer is there. Maybe when we do EIGRP, it'll be there. But it's not right here. It should be somewhere in here. So it's not. So I chose G01. But G02, I also want to suppress it there as well. So I'm going to up arrow and do G02. Right? So what I've done is I've told it suppress routing updates, right, in these two interfaces. Normally, if you do a passive interface default, it will take all the interfaces. So, okay. Because that was coming. All right, so here we go. Do WR. So where can you see this? In the show IP protocols, right? That's a very good command to learn. And let me bring this up. You can see the topology. I'll bring it down if you need to remind me. Show IP protocols. All right. Look what it says here. Interface, loopback 1, send and receive 2. Really? But you're not getting anything from the other interfaces. Okay, let's take a look at the routing table. All the other interfaces would be there as well, wouldn't they? But it says it's receiving information to loopback. So, hey, maybe we need to do that one as well. Show IP route. And you see that we're still getting information for the 10118 because we still have that loopback. So that's interesting, right? So go config T. It's a virtual interface. Right? We suppressed the updates, but we didn't block anything on the port itself. So information is still coming in, but okay. Let's go inside loopback. What is it? Loopback 1. Go back up there. There it is there. Loopback 1. Okay, so we're going to do int, not int. Router, RIP, version 2, passive interface LO1. Right, DWR. Well, fast forward button here. So we just gotta wait for it to happen. Hopefully it'll happen quickly. Show IP protocols. Very good command. All right, so now what do we have here? Wow, we don't have anything. But this look right here, this is important. This is what we type in auto summary. That's what we type in auto summary. Automatic network summarization is not in effect. Okay, that's good. But it says we're routing for these networks, but we don't see the loopback anymore, right? Because before we were able to see here, interface, the interfaces, right? That we're sending and receiving on that interface. Now we don't see that. Now we don't see any interfaces. So does that mean that we don't have a routing table? Or we have a routing table, but do we see RIP? And what, we still see everything. We still see everything. I still see everything. So what does that mean, that passive interface, right? Can we ping? Let's test this out. Let's test this out. 9, right? We can still ping 9. So that means we can ping anybody else, right? Let's do the loopbacks. 2.2.2.2. Cool. 3.3.3.3. Okay. So I can see everybody else. What does that mean? Let's go to this last router here. Let's go to this router and see what we see. Now remember, we're looking for R's. R's. We're not looking for C's. C's means connected. All right. Show IP protocol. Well, show IP route actually. So we see the loopback 1.1.1, and we do see the 10.1.1.4. So is it not working? We didn't apply it properly. What is going on here? Because the passive interface, that's what it's supposed to do. Okay, we can still, can we ping over there? That's the true test, right? So it's not happening. Let's look at this one. I can still see, oh, wait a minute. Look what happened. Look what happened. I can see RIP from router 3, right? I can see the loopback on router 3, but I don't see the loopback on router 1. And I don't see, I'm directly connected to router 1, right? And I'm learning about 12. But, and again, because we're in a loop, but still, it doesn't matter. I put it on each interface. But what's interesting is that this one right here, this router, all right, it does not know about network 1.1.1. It doesn't know that loopback. It knows, again, it knows the 10.1.1.4 because it's directly connected. There it is right here. It's directly connected. That's why it knows about 10.1.1.4. But it does not know about 1.1.1.1. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? Because if this guy's learning it, but that's the neighbor. Okay, that's the neighbor. This guy's directly connected. Well, he's directly connected too, but he knows. Okay, let's go in here. Show IP route. All right. Let's make sure that we're okay here. Oh, it looks a little slightly. No, it says here, look, I'm learning about the 10.1.1.4 from where? Well, I'm learning it from here. Obviously, 10.1.1.4 is coming this way. It's telling you you're learning it from the 9, which is right here. Okay. Where's the 1? Oh, now the 1 disappeared. There is no 1. There is no 1. So it is working. It is working. So this router is advising this router that this network exists. It's not that he's learning it, okay? He's connected directly to this. Hey, let's think this through. All right, because look where he's learning about the 4 network from. Look where he's learning it from. The 10.1.1.9. The 10.1.1.9 is right there. That's where he's learning that network from. Where did this router learn from? Well, he's directly connected to it. So he knows about that network. That's why he's able to know that network. Okay, well, he knows about the 10.1.4 through the 9. Okay, but he doesn't know. So it's not coming through here. It's not coming through this interface right here. It's coming through this interface right here. So it is working. It is working. So that's why you got to slow down. You got to take a look at your routing table and see where the information is coming from. So since we're in a little loop right here, okay, I'm suppressing the networks that I am connected to everybody else. And then this router, since it's directly connected to it, it will send information about the 10.1.1.4. And I can get to it because he told me how to go. But I'm not going this way. I'm going this way. Okay? And that's the other R, which is just 2.2.2.2. That's fine because that's here. So we don't have the 1.1.1.1 because these two interfaces are suppressing updates. Now we did it for all 3, and that's fine. Okay, but we're suppressing those updates. If you want to, and this is something that you can see in your CCNA or your Network Plus, okay? They'll ask you a question because there's no labs anymore. So it's gonna be a multiple choice scenario based question where it's like you have these routers, they're connected to each other, you added another router, but for some reason they're not getting the subnet from it, right? They're not getting that network. Okay, look, just the first thing you want to do is check to see if the network is being advertised, show IP protocols, right? See if you're advertising that network. That's one. And two, take a look if the passive interface is there. If I do show IP protocols, it should be in here. Oh, I'm in router 3, not router 1. Okay, let's start again. Show IP protocols. That's where I did this. All right, so we did distance, routing. Here it is. Passive interfaces. Passive interfaces is the G01, G02, and loopback 1. So you need to look at this, the show IP protocols command, right? And see if they have a passive interface, right? If they have a passive interface. Because in order to make this scenario, they got to give you some snippets if you're not going to be able to do a lab. All right, so show IP protocols is an awesome command. If you have to do it the long way, show start, whatever the case may be, or show interface. But if you can do a show IP protocols, it'll tell you that these interfaces are having this trouble. So how do you fix that? How do you fix it where this router 1, will update again? Simple, take out passive interface. So go to config T, router RIP version 2, no passive interface L01, right? No passive interface G0/1, right? Yeah. And the other one is G02. Yeah, G02. Do WR. And that's how you fix that. That's it. Come on. All right. So now, show IP protocols. Now all your interfaces will come back up. Here we go. Here's your G01. Here's your G02. Here's your loopback. All right. So it may take a little time. All right. But it's going to go ahead and start getting that information again. Let's go to router 3. See if anything has changed. All right. Let's take a look at the routing table. Up arrow. Okay. Now, once again, you're learning. And you're learning it from who? The 10.11.13. Who is the 10.11.13? That guy right there. Oh, okay. What about the 10.11.4? Well, look, now we got two ways that we're learning it. Maximum path 4. We're learning it from the 9, but since we're directly connected to 13, we're learning it via that place too. So you can see the passive interface command. It's very important. Look for it. What's a good show command? Show IP protocols. Cool? Be careful with the passive interface command. They can trick you with it. See you in the next one.